We are taught that prostration belongs to Allah alone, that worship is directed to Him alone, that no created being, however noble, however elevated, can become an object of worship. And yet, immediately after Allah teaches Adam the names and reveals a knowledge the angels themselves did not possess, He gives them an extraordinary command: prostrate before Adam, and the angels prostrate. So what exactly was happening? Assalamu alaikum, and welcome back to Reflection, where we explore the deeper meanings, insights, and realities revealed in the Qur'an. In the previous episode, we explored Allah's declaration that He would place a vicegerent upon the earth, and the remarkable knowledge He taught Adam, the names that even the angels did not know. But the Quranic account does not end there. After Adam demonstrates that knowledge, Allah gives the angels an extraordinary command as anchored in Surah Al-Baqarah, that is Surah number 2, verse 34, where Allah says, وَإِذْ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ فَسَجَدُوا إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ أَبَى وَاسْتَكْبَرَ وَكَانَ مِنَ الْكَافِرِينَ. And when we say to the angels, prostrate before Adam, they prostrated except Iblīs. He refused and acted arrogantly, and he was one of the faithless. The sequence matters. Allah declares Adam's vicegerency. He teaches him the names. Adam demonstrates a knowledge angels themselves do not possess. And only then comes the command, prostrate before Adam. Allama Tabatabai draws our attention precisely to this order. Adam's knowledge is inseparable from the dignity and rank revealed by the command to prostrate. So today we will explore why the prostration came after the names, whether the angels were worshipping Adam, what they were really being commanded to recognize in him, and finally, why Iblīs looked at the same Adam and saw something completely different. To understand the command to prostrate, we have to pay attention to the order in which the Qur'an tells the story. Allah first declares, إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ خَلِيفَةً. Indeed, I'm going to set a vicegerent on the earth. Then Allah teaches Adam the names. Then Adam presents that knowledge before the angels, and the angels respond, Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Immaculate are you. We have no knowledge except what you have taught us. Indeed, you are the all-knowing, the all-wise. And only after this does Allah command, Asjudu li Adama, prostrate before Adam. This sequence is not incidental. Allama Tabatabai explains that Adam's exceptional worthiness for vicegerency is revealed through the knowledge Allah had granted him. The prostration follows the disclosure of that knowledge because the honor given to Adam is connected to the rank Allah Himself bestowed upon him. Adam was created from clay, but clay alone does not explain why the angels were commanded to prostrate. Something had been placed within this human being that could not be understood merely by looking at his material origin, knowledge, the capacity for vicegerency, and a potential that even the angels had just witnessed. But there is another important point. Adam possesses none of this independently of Allah. The angels themselves say, we have no knowledge except what you have taught us. And the same principle applies to Adam. His knowledge is from Allah, his rank is from Allah, his vicegerency is from Allah, his dignity is from Allah. So the angels are not being asked to acknowledge an independent greatness belonging to Adam. They are being asked to recognize what Allah has bestowed upon him. This is why the order matters so much. Vicegerency, knowledge, recognition, and honor. The Quran is not teaching us that human dignity comes simply from belonging to the human species. It is revealing a capacity to know, to recognize truth, to carry responsibility, and to rise towards what Allah created the human being capable of becoming. The angel's prostration, therefore, becomes an acknowledgement not merely of Adam's physical existence, but of the extraordinary potential Allah had placed within him. Reflect on this. When we speak about human dignity, do we think only about the honor Allah has given us, or do we also think about the responsibility that comes with it? This brings us to the obvious question. If prostration is one of the clearest expressions of worship, how could Allah command the angels to prostrate before Adam? As anchored in Surah Al-Baqarah, Surah number 2, verse 34, وَإِذْ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ فَسَجَدُوا. And when we say to the angels, prostrate before Adam, they prostrated. At first glance, the wording seems difficult. The prostration is before Adam, yet worship belongs to Allah alone. So how do we understand this? Allama Tabatabai explains in Tafsir al-Mīzān that prostration and worship are not necessarily identical. Prostration can certainly be one of the strongest expressions of worship, but the physical act itself does not automatically make the one before whom it is performed an object of worship. The Quran gives us another important example in the story of Prophet Yusuf. As anchored in Surah Yusuf, Surah number 12, verse 100, Allah tells us, وَرَفَعَ أَبَوَيْهِ عَلَى الْأَرْشِ وَخَرُّوا لَهُ سُجَّدًا. And he raised his parents upon the throne, and they fell down in prostration before him. Their prostration before Yusuf did not mean that they worship Yusuf. Likewise, the angels' prostration before Adam was an act of honor and recognition carried out in obedience to Allah. Allama Tabatabai then cites a narration from Imam al-Sadiq recorded in Tuhfa al-Uqul. Inna sujudul malaikati li Adama kana ta'atallahi wa mahabbatan li Adama. Indeed, the prostration of the angels before Adam was in obedience to Allah and out of love for Adam. This distinction is essential. The angels were before Adam, but their obedience was to Allah. Adam was being honored. Allah was being obeyed. And therefore, Adam never became an object of worship. Allama Tabatabai also cites another narration from al-Ihtijaj, transmitted from Imam Musa al-Kadhim through his forefathers, explaining that the angels were not worshipping Adam. Their prostration was an acknowledgement of the rank Allah had given him. And this leads to another important point in al-Mizan. Adam in this moment can be understood as a kind of qibla, the direction towards which the angels were commanded to turn. The Kaaba does not become an object of worship simply because we face it in prayer. The direction of the act is the Kaaba, but the worship belongs to Allah. In the same way, the direction of the angel's prostration was Adam, but the meaning of the act remained rooted in Allah. Adam was honored, Allah was worshipped. This is why the prostration before Adam does not compromise Tawheed. It actually demonstrates obedience to Allah. And this takes us deeper. Because if Adam was not being worshipped, then what exactly were the angels being commanded to recognize in him? Reflect on this. When Allah asks us to submit to His wisdom, do we obey because we understand everything first? Or do we recognize that His command may reveal a wisdom beyond what we can immediately see? If the angels were not worshipping Adam, then what exactly were they being commanded to recognize? Allama Tabatabai takes us back to the larger meaning of Adam's creation. Adam is not presented merely as an individual human being. He stands at the beginning of humanity's role as Khalifa, the vicegerent of Allah upon the earth. Allah had already said in Surah Al-Baqarah, Inni ja'ilun fil ardi khalifa. Indeed, I'm going to set a vicegerent on the earth. Then Adam is taught the names. Then that knowledge is demonstrated before the angels, and the angels are commanded to prostrate. The sequence reveals that Adam's honor is tied to something far deeper than his physical form. The angels were not honoring clay. They were not honoring the outward body. They were being commanded to recognize what Allah had placed within Adam: a capacity to know, a capacity to choose, a capacity to act with moral responsibility, a capacity to unite the material and spiritual dimensions of existence. and above all, a capacity to fulfill the trust of vicegerency. Allama Tabatabai explains that Adam represents the extraordinary potential placed within the human being: intellect, knowledge, freedom, moral ascent, and the ability to fulfill a divinely entrusted role within creation. This is why the prostration is so profound. It is not simply saying that the human being is important. It is revealing what the human being can become. Adam represents a being who begins from the earth yet is capable of rising beyond the merely material. A being who can know, who can choose, who can submit, who can embody justice, mercy, wisdom, and humility in accordance with divine guidance, and who can move toward nearness to Allah. The angel's prostration, therefore, becomes an acknowledgement of the divine wisdom manifested through the creation of such a being. And this dignity is not a license for self-glorification. It is a trust. The greater the potential, the greater the responsibility. The more that has been given, the more that can be lost. The same human being who can rise through knowledge, humility, and obedience can also fall through arrogance, rebellion, and misuse of freedom. And this is where the Quranic story turns sharply, because the angels saw Adam and submitted to Allah's command. But one being looked at the same Adam and saw only clay. Consider this. When you look at yourself, do you see only what you are today? Or do you also ask, what has Allah created you capable of becoming? The Quran now introduces a striking contrast. The angels were commanded to prostrate, and they obeyed. But Iblīs refused, as anchored in Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah number 34. إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ أَبَى وَاسْتَكْبَرَ وَكَانَ مِنَ الْكَافِرِينَ. Except Iblīs, he refused and acted arrogantly, and he was one of the faithless. The difference is immediate. The angels looked at the command. Iblīs looked at himself. He did not deny that Allah had commanded him. He did not misunderstand the instruction. He compared fire against clay, himself against Adam, and from that comparison came the claim, I am better than him. The Quran gives us his reasoning in Surah Al-A'raf, that is Surah number 7, verse number 12. قَالَ مَا مَنَعَكَ أَلَّا تَسْجُدَ إِذْ أَمَرْتُكَ قال أنا خير منه خلقتني من النار وخلقته من طين. He said, what prevented you from prostrating when I commanded you? He said, I am better than him. You created me from fire and you created him from clay. Allama Tabatabai explains that Iblīs reduced the question to material origin. He saw fire, he saw clay, and because he considered fire superior to clay, he concluded that he himself must therefore be superior to Adam. But this comparison completely missed the reality Allah had just revealed. Iblīs saw what Adam was made from. He failed to see what Adam had been created for. He saw clay, but he did not see the names. He did not see the vicegerency they revealed, and he did not see the divine wisdom behind Adam's elevation. There is also a deeper meaning in Adam's creation from clay. Clay is lowly, it's grounded, it belongs to the earth. Yet from that humble material origin, Allah created a being capable of knowledge, vicegerency, and extraordinary spiritual ascent. Adam begins from the earth, but he is not imprisoned by the earth. His material origin does not determine the limits of what he can become. He can rise through knowledge, through humility, through obedience, and through nearness to Allah. Iblīs saw Adam's beginning and mistook it for Adam's measure. He saw where Adam came from, but he failed to see where Adam could rise. And beneath even this mistaken comparison lies something deeper. Allama Tabatabai explains that Satan's problem was that he looked only at himself. He saw his own being as though it possessed an independent reality. He failed to look beyond himself to the Lord who sustains him and sustains every being. Had he truly seen himself before Allah, that claim of superiority could never have survived. Because before Allah, what independent greatness does the servant possess? What does the servant have that was not given? What does the servant know that was not enabled? what does a servant become except through Allah? This is why Iblis' problem was deeper than refusing a single prostration. His problem was a self standing before the command of Allah. And the Qur'an shows us the consequences in Surah Al-A'raf, that is Surah number 7, verse 13. قَالَ فَاحْبِطْ مِنْهَا فَمَا يَكُونُ لَكَ أَن تَتَكَبَّرَ فِيهَا. He said, then get down from it. It is not for you to be arrogant therein. Before this moment, Iblis had occupied a station of sanctity alongside the angels. But the command concerning Adam exposed what lay within him. The angels remained within submission. Iblis departed through arrogance. Allama Tabatabai draws attention here to the Quranic idea of fisq, a coming out, a departure from the state in which one had previously remained. Iblis did not merely commit an isolated act of disobedience. Through arrogance, he came out of the state of servitude and proximity in which he had stood. His pride became incompatible with that station. Arrogance did not simply produce a wrong action, it changed his relationship with Allah. And that is why the warning of Imam Ali is so severe in Khutbatul Qasiyah. He says, فَاعْتَبِرُوا بِمَا كَانَ مِنْ فِعْلِ اللَّهِ بِإِبْلِيسَ إِذْ أَحْبَطَ عَمَلَهُ الطَّوِيلَ وَجَهْدَهُ الْجَهِيدَ. Take heed from what Allah did to Iblis when he nullified his long work and great effort. Imam Ali goes on to remind us that Iblis had worshipped Allah for 6,000 years, and yet arrogance destroyed what that long history of worship had produced. That is one of the most unsettling lessons in this entire story. The danger was not lack of worship. The danger was the self that remained hidden beneath it. So pause here for a moment. When divine guidance challenges our pride, our assumptions, or our sense of superiority, what do we protect first? The command of Allah or the image we have created of ourselves? And as we bring this reflection together, 4 lessons stand out from the Quranic account. First, Adam's honor came after the knowledge Allah had taught him. The sequence of the Quran connects the names, vicegerency, and the command to prostrate. Second, the angel's prostration was not worship of Adam. Adam was honored, Allah was obeyed, and Allah alone remained the object of worship. Third, the prostration reveals the extraordinary potential Allah placed within the human being, the capacity for knowledge, moral responsibility, vicegerency, and spiritual ascent. Fourth, that potential is a trust, not a guarantee. The angels looked at the command and submitted. Iblis looked at himself and said, I am better than him. The human being can rise through knowledge, humility, and obedience, or fall through arrogance and self-centeredness. The angel's prostration revealed the dignity and potential Allah had placed within the human being, while Iblis' refusal revealed the danger of a self that can no longer see beyond itself. And that leaves us with another important question. What does it really mean for Allah to be pleased with a human being? Is divine pleasure simply tied to who a person is, or to how they continue to live, believe, and act? That is what we'll explore in the next episode of Reflection. If you found this episode meaningful, please take a moment to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who may benefit from it. Your support helps us continue producing these reflections and making them available to a wider audience. Until next time, wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.